Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and today is March 2nd, 2015, and it's the first day of official Dragons of Tarkir spoilers. So today on the Wizards of the Coast website, there was a series of articles, and they spoiled 11 new cards from the set. That's in addition to the one card that was spoiled a little early and was leaked yesterday. And you can go back and see our video that we posted yesterday to look at Dragonlord's Reaper. However, today we're going to look at the 11 cards that were spoiled today, and we're also going to take a look at the mechanics of the set. During the spoilers, they did showcase all of the mechanics that will be in the set, so we'll take a look at those. Some are returning mechanics, some will be new mechanics, and you can expect a video like this every day, at least every weekday as cards are spoiled. So every time we get new spoilers, we're going to go ahead and compile the information and get it directly to you as quickly as possible. So let's get started. First thing we saw is we got to see the packaging material for Dragons of Tarkir. We got to see the booster packs and the fat pack, as well as what the decks will look like. But of course, they blacked out the foil card on the decks. And now we'll get into the cards. The first one is Dragon Tempest, and this is a red and colorless enchantment. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until end of turn. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. So enchantment cards usually kind of lead to almost a time walk situation when you play an enchantment and don't get anything out of it. However, this one's pretty competitively costed, and we don't know exactly what the set's going to hold, but I have a feeling it's called Dragons of Tarkir. There's probably going to be a lot of dragons. So who knows? This may actually be an economically costed limited card, and definitely a really cool commander card for dragon decks. Next one we got is Dragonlord Salomaa, and he's a legendary Elder Dragon. And I kind of like the flavor spin on this, where we saw in Fate Reforged they were legendary dragons, and now they're Elder Dragons because it's the present now, not the past. So he's a 3/5, 1 black, 1 blue, 4 colorless. He has flying and death touch, and whenever he enters the battlefield, you gain control of target creature or planeswalker for as long as you control Dragonlord Salomaa. So pretty solid card. I mean, for 6, you're getting a flying death touch creature for 3/5, and you get to steal a creature or planeswalker. That's pretty awesome. So, is it costed well enough to get into standard? Maybe, especially if there's any planeswalkers out there causing some trouble in standard. But definitely an awesome limited card and really fun commander card as well, I think. First, we'll take a look at the mechanics that already exist, and the first one will be Bolster. Bolster is returning as the Abzan mechanic, and which makes sense because we saw it in Fate Reforged. And this is an example of Bolster for 1 white and 2 colorless. So we have Sandcrafter Mage, 2/2, and whenever Sandcrafter Mage enters the battlefield, you get to bolster 1. So pretty simple card, nice sort of staple card that's going to showcase Bolster, good limited card. Mardia will continue to have dash. Again, makes sense because that's what we saw in Fate Reforged. And here's an example: sprinting Warbrute, 1 red, 4 colorless, and sprinting Warbrute attacks each turn of Fable. He's a 5/4, but he has the dash cost of 1 red and 3 colorless. So another really good limited card, and pushing across 5 damage potentially on turn 4 is pretty decent. I mean, there's potential if there's a right aggro deck comes along in standard that this could possibly be standard play. We'll wait and see. The next mechanic that was spoiled was Megamorph, and similar to Morph in Cons and Manifest in Fate Reforged, it appears that Megamorph is going to be something that will be used through all the colors. And here's an example here. It's very similar to regular Morph, except when you flip the card, you get a +1/+1 counter. So let's look at Stratus Dancer, 1 blue and 1 colorless. It's a 2/1 flyer. However, if you pay the 3 colorless and cast it as a Megamorph, as a 2/2 creature, you can then at any time pay the 1 blue, 1 colorless to flip the card. It gets a +1/+1 counter, becoming a 3/2 flyer. And when it is turned face up, counter target instant or sorcery spell. That's a pretty good card. It is a rare, as you can see, but a very economical 3/2 flyer. Maybe not quite as economical as Delver, but it's sort of close, although 1 mana and 2 mana is worlds apart when it comes to Eternal format, but still a very solid card and could definitely see some standard play. And then the possibility to counter an instant or sorcery spell is just gravy on top of that. Here's another example of Megamorph with Airy Bowmasters. You get 2 green and 2 colorless for a 3/4 reach, and the Megamorph cost is 1 green and 5 colorless to make it a 4/5 if it is Megamorphed. Next one, we'll look at Temur, and Formidable is the new mechanic, and in some ways it's seems similar to Ferocious, as you can see in this example of Stampeding Elk Herd. For 2 green, 3 colorless, you get a 5/5 creature. However, whenever Stampeding Elk Herd attacks, if creatures you control have total power 8 or greater, creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. So instead of looking for one creature to be 4 or greater power, this appears to be looking for creatures total power 8 or greater to give you a blanket effect or maybe more global effect. Now let's take a look at Jess Guy, and they get the rebound mechanic, which is actually a returning mechanic, and it has a lot of synergy with their previous mechanic, Prowess. And let's take a look at Ujetai Summons. 2 blue and 3 colorless. It's a sorcery. Put a 2/2 blue Djinn Monk creature token with flying onto the battlefield, and then you get to rebound. If you cast this spell from your hand, exile it as it resolves. At the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. So basically, you get to play the spell, and then on your next turn, you get to play it again for free. So you're paying 5, you're getting 2 2/2 flyers over the course of 2 turns. Pretty cool card, definitely great limited card. So really excited to see where they go with Rebound, and Rebound will then trigger your Prowess the turn you cast it, and then you get a free Prowess trigger when you get to play it from exile for free the next turn, which is pretty cool. And here's another example of a Profound Journey. 2 white and 5 colorless. It's a sorcery. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and rebound. So here's another really nice rebound card, probably a really nice limited card. For 7 mana, it's getting 2 permanents back from your graveyard directly to the battlefield, and not just creatures. So it could be lands, could be fetch lands, for example, that are in your graveyard, but any permanent, even planeswalkers. So pretty cool card. Now let's take a look at Sultai, and they get Exploit. And Sultai's coming off of having a very powerful mechanic with Delve, and Exploit plays into that and has great synergy with it. And we'll look at this example, Silmagar Butcher for 1 black, 4 colorless. It's a zombie Djinn, and it's a 3/3 creature with Exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When Silmagar Butcher exploits a creature, target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. So paying 5 for a 3/3 is not where you want to be, so you really want to be exploiting when you play this card, so you want to have that strategy. Exploiting will put a creature in your graveyard, which will help with Delve strategies, but you definitely get a lot of value out of that -3/-3. It's basically a removal spell. So for 5, you're getting removal as well as a 3/3 creature. So pretty nice card for limited. And finally, maybe the most exciting card that was spoiled today is Sidisi Undead Vizier. And for 2 black and 3 colorless, he's a legendary creature, 4/6 with Death Touch, and he has Exploit. When this creature enters the battlefield, sacrifice a creature. If you did, he basically gets the Demonic Tutor. So that's pretty awesome. And he's a 4/6, so he's got a big body on him, and he's got Death Touch. This card's push. This could definitely see Standard. This could potentially touch Modern. I would not be shocked if it made it into Modern. You're just getting a great creature with a great body on the battlefield, and you get to Demonic Tutor. That's awesome. So very exciting card. Love to see kind of what will happen with this one once it comes out and what impact it's going to have not only in Standard but other formats as well. So that concludes our look at the 11 cards that were spoiled so far today. Please keep watching. We're going to go ahead and place more videos out at least once a day as more spoilers come out through the season, and then we'll do a set review once the set is completely spoiled. So if you haven't already, please subscribe so that you get all these updates, and please remember to like as well. And as always, have a great day.